right, ready?
Sure.
You guys ready? All right. I think I'm ready.
It's up to you.
All right, welcome in. It's episode number 13 of Shippy and Grubes. I'm Shippy.
I'm Grubes.
God, we nailed it. And we're about to nail this show. We've got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, including how I know I could maybe be a hockey player because of one attribute that it seems like a lot of the younger guys have that I also carry as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. We've got some great Joe Mazzulla audio.
Yes.
I think back-to-back, 2 out of the last 3 weeks now.
Not enough, I say.
Yeah, not enough, but he might have to have his own segment coming up pretty soon here.
Mazzulla Minute.
Yes. To replace the nihilistic minute
Yes.
that we forgot to do last week because we're very positive about life these days.
Yeah, but it also doesn't matter because we're going to die anyway.
Yeah, and the Cowboys have already died.
Golly.
Dak Prescott injured, about to go on IR, out for 4 weeks. CeeDee Lamb tweaked something.
Zeke's a troublemaker.
Zeke's a troublemaker. Trayvon Diggs is healthy, but
he gave his nuts to Mike Leslie.
He gave D's nuts.
Yes.
DEES nuts to Mike Leslie. And that was about where all the good vibes stopped.
Man, I was going to say, it started off so good. Like, Trayvon and Mike Leslie making up. You're like, okay, cool. We're going into Atlanta with some good vibes. Some good times are about to happen. And then, bam, Zeke's not going to make the trip because he's a discipline problem. And Dak's busted his hammy. And then they lost, even worse. And it just all keeps happening.
It all keeps happening.
And Jerry apparently cried in the locker room talking to the players or something.
Did he?
Apparently gave some sort of a speech or talk to the room and was all emotional and stuff.
Well, the good news is they traded for Jonathan Mingo today.
It's a great name.
It is a great name. I am very partial to people named Jonathan.
They're okay.
I wish them all the best. But the problem is we gave up a 4th-round pick.
Ooh.
And there's like former Pro Bowl wide receivers that are going for 5th and 6th. And, Jerry was like, hey, look, we're loading up. We're not done. I still believe in the Cooper Rush, maybe Trey Lance-led Cowboys. We'll find out, I guess, this week. But to go out and give up a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, I mean, that's... I'm with Joe Mazzulla at this point. I'm just, wherever there's a meteor, just go ahead, man. Like...
Smash us.
We need to wait till the season finale of The Penguin to come out.
No, we do. So we got one more week.
One more week.
Yeah.
And then the meteor can hit. But we talked about Zeke a second ago. Mm-hmm. He was a healthy scratch. And 2 weeks ago, there was some speculation with Dalvin Cook coming off the practice squad to play. Is Zeke going to be a healthy scratch that week? And Rico Dowdle was sick leading up to the game. And even though he came out to the field and everybody said he looked fine, he's signing autographs.
Yeah, he's like interacting with people.
He's like, hey, here's an autograph and some germs. Maybe you can get sick. And then finally this week, they had the tough conversation that Ezekiel Elliott was the healthy scratch. He didn't even make the trip to Atlanta. There was a lot of speculation. It was for disciplinary reasons.
Ooh.
And then Jane Slater had the tweet that, this was the first of his career, and according to a number of sources, Elliott has been distracted this season. Aside from his habitual tardiness, he's missed 3 team meetings, with Friday's meeting being the final straw. So he's just been missing meetings, showing up late, and then both parties decided it was best he didn't make the trip to Atlanta.
I'm curious what his distractions are, like, because maybe there is, some serious personal stuff, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm very curious. I think we should wildly speculate right now. Okay, maybe not.
I mean, I think maybe he's been distracted with maybe a nightclub.
Has he ever been to one?
Never. He hates nightclubs. He definitely has never punched a Dallas DJ in the face at a Dallas nightclub either.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Because what was there? There's also the St. Patty's Day parade incident.
Where showed a little nip.
Yeah, showed some knockers.
Yeah. I prefer that over punching DJs in the face. Just personally, as a Dallas DJ, I would really like that to stop, unless it comes with a great settlement.
which is possible.
He's
got money.
But I know the DJ that he punched, and he said it was
really?
not that. It was like, it was not worth it.
Aw.
I mean, it was nice, but he's like, it wasn't what everybody was speculating.
Yeah, and it's still not fun to get punched in the face.
No, and if you saw the pictures, it was just terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the pictures.
Oh, God. Let me see.
We don't
have to pull it up. This is old.
Yeah,
this is
we're
old
not about
2016
violence.
news. We're not about
Yeah.
violence, and we're certainly not about losing.
Yeah,
So,
and discipline problems.
and discipline problems, which kind of naturally transitions to Joe Mazzulla.
All right, segue Shippy is back in force.
We've got, Joe Mazzulla is a guy that, like we said, he's a very nihilistic man. He just, he's like, hey, we're all going to die. What does it really matter? I embraced the expectations of another, great season following winning the NBA championship last season. And he has some ideas for some NBA rule changes and maybe how players could kind of discipline each other
Oh,
in the
okay.
middle of a basketball game.
We've been kicking around some proposed rule changes in the league. What if?
I love this.
What do you got? You have some proposals?
Come on.
Yeah, like basketball is one of the only sports that doesn't have a power play. And I think soccer just put in the blue card where a guy has to go off and it's 10 on 9. And so, we should have a power play where, because let's say you get a technical or let's say you get a take foul, you get the one shot, but you're not really rewarded for that because if you miss it, you don't get the reward for the take foul. You know what I mean? So there should be a power play where on a take foul, on a technical, you have to play 5-on-4 for 5 seconds or 3 passes.
Or charge.
Or what about for an entire possession? What if for the entire possession it's 5-on-4?
Yeah.
I mean, that might be a little extreme, but I think we should institute power plays where instead of taking the ball out on the side,
Intentional.
you commit a foul, the guy goes to the other side of half court, and he can't leave the half court circle until 3 seconds.
Oh, I love this.
The biggest thing that we rob people of from an entertainment standpoint is you can't fight anymore.
Yes.
We should just bring back fighting.
I mean, I'm not against that. I'm not against those days in the NBA.
What's more, I mean, you want to talk about robbing the league of entertainment. What's more entertaining than a little scuffle?
I agree.
How come in baseball they're allowed to clear the benches? How come in hockey they're allowed to fight? I don't understand.
Hockey,
and don't tell me
actually
because,
let them go
we're
for
not-
a while.
How about just hard fouls in the sport? I mean, even if it doesn't rise
Yeah,
to the level of fighting, you don't have the hard fouls
I think that's
anymore. You
better.
don't have the fear of going inside. You don't have the fear
Yeah.
of some of the
Pistons.
other
And,
of the opponents.
Yeah.
I just don't get why some sports are allowed to clear the benches. They have bats and weapons. We don't. We just have a ball.
It's fair. It's fair. Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
I mean,
The other sport has one of the hardest surface playing instruments and a puck and sticks, and yet we're not allowed to throw it down a little bit.
I kind of want to agree with them. I'm not a big fan of violence, but as long as it's not happening to me, I think it's okay for entertainment value.
It's great to watch.
Yeah.
And just last week, his player, Jason Tatum, they were playing the Hornets, and Grant Williams, former Celtic, just came out of nowhere and tackles Jason Tatum in the middle of the court, gets a flagrant 2 and gets ejected. How great would it be if at that moment they threw down their fake gloves they don't wear and somebody was just one-on-one versus Grant Williams and fought him right then and there?
And then right after, it's a 5-on-4 matchup.
Yeah.
On the court.
I think it's great.
That's kind of awesome.
In baseball, it's never, bench is clear, but they really just all show up in the middle of the diamond or behind
and everybody
home
clears
plate.
out from the bullpen and just kind of stands around.
Just kind of look at each other, and there's maybe one old coach in the middle that's kind of pushing people apart.
Right.
But nothing really happens in baseball.
No.
It's very, very rare that you get a Rougned Odor situation or Nolan Ryan. And, he brought up the bats and stuff. I've never really seen anybody use their glove except, didn't Nolan use his glove to hit Robin Ventura or something?
No, I don't think he did. There have been a couple times where, Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper, Hunter Strickland tried to throw his glove at Bryce Harper.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or no, Bryce Harper threw his helmet at Hunter Strickland.
When he was
something
running
like
out
that.
at him, yeah.
Just stuff like that, but you generally don't see the bats or gloves being used. The one time I can think of in baseball where a bat got used was Juan Marichal and Johnny Roseboro, in 1963 or something.
Dude,
And Juan Marichal hit Roseboro over the head.
You are my personal baseball encyclopedia.
I like baseball.
You do. You just named, I know Bryce Harper, but Hunter Strickland,
Yeah.
I could never pick him out of a lineup. So
That's what I did instead of going to school.
I think it worked out pretty well.
Hey, I'm getting paid to talk, so
And you're
you know,
inspiring to retiring.
damn right.
The Motel Margarita.
Yeah, I found it when I was clearing out my old apartment over the
great
weekend.
hat.
I know.
That's a great hat. A great wide receiver who plays for the Carolina Panthers that I wish the Cowboys would have traded for, but there's no way. Like, there's no way. He's worth a 4th-round pick just on his quotes alone.
I would have given up a 3rd-round pick for this guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe
I want to be friends with him.
I do too. It's Xavier Leggett, who was, I believe, their 1st-round pick, maybe 2nd-round pick this year. Either way, he's awesome. And this week, I believe, the Panthers are traveling to Germany to play NFL football, and they were asking him what he was kind of looking forward to when he was going on his way to Germany.
I just hope they got some good food. I'm a picky eater, so I just hope they got something I can eat.
They have good chocolate.
I don't eat candy like that.
But what are your no-goes? You say you're a picky eater. What are your no-goes?
Yeah, I don't eat seafood. I don't eat like peppers and onions and all that. I don't really eat vegetables like that.
What? So you eat like pizza?
Yeah, and like I just started eating asparagus. I eat like string beans and green peas, but that's
not a
it.
Do they have to be cooked in bacon grease? Do they have to be cooked in bacon grease?
No, that ain't like that.
Pasta?
Yeah, I eat some pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, I eat some pasta.
Chicken, steak, all the regular stuff.
Yeah, all
No
the regular-
seafood though?
Nah, I'm allergic.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's allergic.
He's amazing, is what he is.
I want him to read every audiobook ever.
Right? Like, it's incredible. And, like, just, like, it's kind of like Jameis-esque in terms of he's just, he's just asked a question and he's just rolling with.
He's not trying to be funny.
He's not trying to be
just-
funny at
yeah.
all. He's just, hey, he's very country.
Yeah.
Like, very, very country. And I really hope that he enjoys his time out there in Germany.
I really do too.
I hope that he gets, and I don't know, like, what is Germany? I guess, would it be like brats?
Yeah, Wiener Schnitzel, stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like beer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't ask him if he likes beer. No, I mean, I've never been to Germany. I don't know, have you?
I have not. I'm German, but I'm not very good at being German because I haven't been over to the homeland.
Did you ever ask Dirk, like, what they eat?
No, we haven't had that deep of conversations.
Maybe we can get him on Shippy and Grubes and be like,
Just
hey,
ask about the food.
Hey, man, we don't really want to know about anything else,
No.
but we're asking for Xavier Leggett. What should he eat when he gets over there?
Let's see if we can zoom him in.
Let's zoom him in.
Yeah.
And now we can talk about how I could be an NHL player because apparently, like NHL players, I also don't really know how to cook. What are your cooking skills like? Do you have any?
Very basic, but I'm not great at actually doing it. Where
Okay.
It's just, I'll throw stuff in the air fryer. I can,
I can air
pick up
fry.
stuff, set a DoorDash order and pick it up. I'm at least not having it delivered all the time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually going to the restaurant, which is very a nice change for me. But yeah, me and Darcy are still working on the cooking at home thing and all that. Like, we're both capable.
Yeah.
She's, capable of cooking. I am too, but it's so much easier not to.
It's way easier.
Yeah.
And The Athletic did an article basically talking about, young NHL players struggling with cooking where, even one player asked, how do I boil the water?
Yeah.
Like, I know how to boil the water.
Right. Because what was it that they said, he was asking, how do you make pasta?
Yeah, he said, so the 20-year-old Harrison, this is Brett Harrison and Mason Lowry. They were roommates in the AHL with the Providence Bruins together.
Okay.
And Harrison asked, how do I make the pasta? And Lowry answered, he said, you boil the water and then put it in the water. And Harrison said, how do I boil the water? So I'm not that bad. Like, I could boil the water, but
Yeah.
then once I get to that point, I'm like, all right, so what do I do now? Like,
Yeah. Do I put the pasta in?
do you season the water first or put flavor in the water?
You can salt the water. It's
Right.
generally recommended.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
See, and there's stuff like that, like the science stuff that, like, I'm like, man, I would totally ruin a meal on accident.
Yeah.
Just like going to the grocery store, I forget one very small but so crucial ingredient. Or like,
Yeah, the bay leaf.
yeah, the bay leaf, or like a certain utensil or something I didn't know I needed to
A
have.
fork.
I have forks. I got plenty of forks.
Plenty of
spoons.
plastic forks.
Yeah. Oh man, I used to love paper plates and stuff.
I've still got them. Like, again, my girlfriend Darcy is working on at least getting me away from that.
See, I'm already.
She's like, babe, I've got plates that I brought over from my place. Like,
Yeah.
we got real, silver forks and utensils, and I still like default to grabbing, the plastic fork, the plastic spoon, paper plate. Like, you can just toss it.
You just throw it all away.
Yeah.
You don't have to wash anything.
Right.
You don't have to because normally after I eat, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go to sleep now.
Yeah. You're always
And
ready to sleep, though.
I'm always ready to sleep.
Like, it's kind of a miracle that we're 13 shows in, you haven't just fallen asleep during a taping.
Yeah, I've never been asleep during a taping, and I've woken up for at least 2 episodes that we recorded early in the morning, or
That's
early
true.
for me, like 10
You have not been
a.m.
late.
Yeah, I've been.
Hey,
it's been good. I think it's part of the whole not drinking thing.
I was going to say, Sober October Plus has
Yeah.
been working for you.
It's been working, but no, like I don't have any paper plates anymore. Like
Ooh.
I don't have any paper utensils or plastic utensils or paper utensils.
Paper straws.
Yeah, there you go.
Those
And
suck, by the way.
I don't have a sauce drawer either. Like I used to have
Whoa.
a sauce drawer, and so now if somebody forgets like my barbecue sauce, I used to
Yeah.
have like, oh, it's okay, I got backup barbecue.
Yeah, you're
sauce.
not going to have to like go back to the restaurant and be like, I demand my Chick-fil-A sauce.
Right now. I need Rick, the Uber Eats driver, to please include the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, you're
or
not having
make
to-
sure it's in there.
Yeah, the extra note, like, please don't forget this.
Yeah.
And then they still do.
And they always forget it. So, but yeah, I mean, this article goes on to talk about DoorDash and Uber Eats. While it's really expensive to have stuff delivered to your door, it's so much easier and more practical, I guess, once you come home from, whether it's work or in this case, playing a hockey game. It's way easier to have, McDonald's delivered straight to your door or something like that.
Yeah, and like I know in the article it mentions, these are guys that, pretty much hockey became their profession by their teens, like by 12 or 13. So they're like living with other families, was it billet families or
Yes.
billet?
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it,
I
but
don't know either.
the families basically provide, are usually cooking and all that because the players are spending all day at the rink or practicing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, they get to the professional ranks, and now they're all of a sudden living in an apartment or something, and they're like, how do I boil water?
Yeah. And like the boiling water thing, like that's bad.
That's
Like,
really
even as
bad.
somebody who knows they're a bad cook and are incapable, even I'm like, dude, you gotta work on that. That's
You
terrible.
at least understand, like, this is a pot, this is a stove, I put the water in the pot, I put the pot on the stove, turn the thingy on.
To like 7 or 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see?
Yeah. And
Okay.
just kind of don't watch it because a watched pot never boils.
Oh, really?
That's what the old ladies say.
Wow.
Old
Okay.
wa-
Well, I'm
old
glad
wives.
you told me. I haven't talked to too many old ladies because I didn't know that. I would have just
I talked
stared
to
at
so
the.
many
I
old
would have just
ladies.
stared at the pot and never would have boiled. I would have
Yeah.
been pissed.
And you'd be like, why isn't it? Yeah. How do I boil it?
How do I boil? Why?
Maybe that's what happened to Brett Harrison.
we need to.
Yeah.
After we get off the line with Dirk, we'll talk to him.
We'll
and-
zoom him in.
Yeah. But hey, man, we talked to some old ladies. You're watching the pot too long.
Yeah.
So, and I actually I want to cook. I bought some cooking books. Like I texted my buddy Reese Hall. He's from high school, and I hit him up. I was like, dude, can you please just hook me up with some books? I got 3 very large books that I need to make it through to like, and I was like, I'm starting from scratch here.
Nice.
And so it's not going great. I did read, I read maybe 10 pages or 15 pages in. But I still have a lot of reading, dude, to do to become the cook that I would like to become.
Well, no, you know what you can do now is like, there's so many YouTube chefs. Yeah. And I, like, during the pandemic, like, spent so much time watching videos of how to cook because I was like, hey, I'm going to use this time to stop ordering DoorDash and get in better shape, and we
Yeah.
can see how that went. But, like, I would watch all these cooking videos so I at least understand the science behind the things that I'm not doing at all.
Yeah.
Where it's like I could tell you, some of the reasons, like the Maillard reaction and stuff like that.
See, these are all the things I
Right?
don't.
That's
know.
what makes things that are browned taste good. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's
Dude.
not burnt. It's Maillard.
Maybe as like a bonus content, we just need to start our own cooking episode where we just kind of fumble through cooking stuff.
Okay.
And maybe help other terrible cooks out,
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah. Shippy sous chefs.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. I also really like Jeff Skin Wade?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Enemy.
Well,
He doesn't have any friends.
so dang, you're against Ben and Skin now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awful dudes.
I respect it. I also respect what he does for the Mavericks broadcast.
I don't.
And and I didn't realize that this happened because it's a home game, and I don't go back and watch the film.
What?
I'm sorry, I don't. I probably should, but it's just a lot of work, and I already have a lot of jobs.
You do.
And so does Skin, and he
has more jobs than anyone.
He's very good at all of them. But I really enjoyed this clip that I found, I think on Twitter or something, and it's just a great throwaway line as Harp and Followell are talking, and then Skin chimes in that very special way that he knows how to do.
What just happened in that corner?
Yeah, Gary Harris. Yeah, Gary Harris was not ready to shoot. He's 0 for 13 over the last 4+ games now.
To your point, that's why.
You think there's a lot of super young kids named Gary?
Why?
Just, that's what I love about Skin on the broadcast, is that they're talking about Gary Harris and he's struggling or something, and he just comes in and goes, you think there's a lot of super young kids named Gary?
Probably not, but I love that Skin thinks the way that he does.
Well,
he is so damn smart.
He's so smart, and like I said, like I don't get to watch a lot of broadcasts, but before when I did, I love just like the little nuggets and stuff that little things that he'll reference, or just little jokes that he'll make like that. Like, do you remember when he said that one guy was from from Saskatchewan, where all the Sasquatches were?
Yes.
And he went viral. Like he was like interviewing with all of Canada because he was just embracing the bit and like just having fun with them. He said, and I think was it Matt Bonner that he said he looked like he does magic?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Chase Budinger. I will never forget that name, and that was like 17 years ago probably. But that is still one of my favorite things anyone has ever said about another person.
It was so great. Like, just the fact that he came up with that on the broadcast.
That he looks like, that Chase Budinger looks like he dabbles in magic.
That's what it was. And it got other Twitter users thinking and researching. Ooh. And this is from Based Bob Trap God on the popularity of the name Gary.
Oh.
So back in 2000... Let's see. It was like the 275th like ranked name.
Okay.
In 22 years since then, it's now to number 956, which really dropped in popularity.
Man, that's bad.
So, Skin has a point.
He does.
There are probably not a whole lot of super young Garys out there.
Garys are going extinct.
Yeah. They're going extinct.
Like dinosaurs.
Oh, man.
Our friends.
Our friends.
I thought I had a funnier line to go with that, so let's cut that out.
I think we can just keep it, you know?
Okay.
I like dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs too.
Do you like the Saints?
Not really, but
do you like Derek Carr?
I don't really have any thoughts on him.
I always thought like he's been weird to me because he looks like he wears like eye makeup of some sort.
He does have a bit of a smoky eye.
And I don't know. In a minute we'll get to Smokey Rose where you guys had the Halloween party.
Figure out another Shippy segue.
But first we're going to talk about Derek Carr and what happened. He basically we're going to show this play, but he's under a lot of scrutiny for basically this one throw.
The slot. On first down, pressure's coming from the near side. And Derek Carr throws high to Olave. Yeah, he took a hit. That's going to be a defenseless receiver. Flags.
So
yeesh.
He makes that throw, and Chris Olave gets hurt. He's sent off to the hospital. He was taken off on a stretcher. Awful hit. And Michael Thomas, former wide receiver for the Saints, just took to Twitter to go after him. Basically saying things like they fired all them coaches trying to cover his flaws up, and he's still doing the same thing. Derek Carr has been crap. Basically, it's sad. Dude scary and panic and just throw the ball. Get him the F out of here. He's so ass. And that year, his buddy went first team All Pro. Talking about Devontae Adams in 2022 with the Raiders. He needed 180 targets just to catch 100 passes. And then he says he is ass on my granny.
His ass on what?
My granny.
Oh.
On my granny, like on my granny's life.
No,
but
I know. It's
when
just,
you read it out,
it reads weird.
It
yeah.
reads very weird. And then he said, dude tried to lie and say I was jealous of them making Chris wide receiver 1. Whole time he can't even get him a decent ball. He need his ass whooped. So maybe he would be friends with Joe Mazzulla.
Maybe.
In the in-game fighting. But I really respected Derek Carr's like reaction to this and the way he handled it, because it's not been the first time, but I thought that the way that he kind of handled everything was, you know, it sucks to like be done with the game, I'm sure, and then find out like, hey, you're getting roasted on Twitter by your former first round pick. You're going viral for all the reasons. He probably already feels bad enough that he got hurt on that play. But I thought the way that he handled it all was really good.
Derek, Michael Thomas was on social media today. Again, kind of insinuating that your pass was the reason allowed to get hurt. And I know this is the second time he's done this, and you've addressed it. When you see that or hear that from a former teammate, kind of what is your reaction?
You know, I have love for Mike. You know, and when he does that, I don't really care for it. Obviously, you know, I've had so many teammates over the years, and he's like the one dude that didn't get along with me, you know, and I don't know what I did to him. I don't know why he feels that way. I'm sorry, you know, for whatever he's dealing with to make him feel like he's got to do that. I don't know, you know, but he's never called me during any of this, you know, my phone number has never changed. You know, I've in fact called him on different occasions, you know, just to try. And sometimes you can try as hard as you want, and it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. So I don't know why he feels any type of way. I didn't see it. I won't see it because I always ignore everything, you know, good and bad. I try to ignore everything. It's unfortunate, especially coming from a player like that. But I wish him the best. I hope he gets on a team and does what he wants to do and loves it. You know, I'll never change. Like I love him in that way. Wish him the best, but it's something I just would never do to a teammate, you know.
So he goes on to kind of repeat that, you know, over and over again a little bit, just wishing that he gets the help that he needs or gets whatever he wants out of this, that he's getting, I don't know, his satisfaction or whatever. But I thought it was interesting that he said he ignores everything, like the good and the bad. Like I kind of understand, like one thing that I personally do is I kind of try to stay even keel, where it's like whether I'm getting like praised on Twitter for something or, you know, people hate me because I played a certain song. Like I don't get too up or too down. Like I try to just stay in the middle. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Right. I think he is too, but it also just sounds kind of goofy. Like, I literally ignore everything.
I just ignore everything. I don't, you know, whatever happens, like I don't.
Including where your receiver is when you're throwing to him.
Yeah, and he
double coverage.
He did go on to say too that, you know, it was single high coverage, and I think he obviously airmailed it a little bit, put it up a little where he didn't want to, but he did talk about that, but I thought that it was just strange that, you know, that he said, you know, I like that he was like, hey, you know, I still love him and I hope that he gets whatever he needs or whatever, but the whole thing about I just ignore everything I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Then I did see that Derek Carr has basically caused Dennis Allen to be fired twice as a head coach.
Yes.
Once with the Raiders and this time with the Saints, you know, over the weekend, I guess he was, Dennis Allen was fired. And yeah, both times with Derek Carr. So maybe Dennis Allen will be tweeting about Derek Carr soon.
Well, and it's funny you bring that up. I'm glad you brought it up because Marcus Mosher tweeted Derek Carr has now gotten Dennis Allen fired twice in the season 2014 and 2024. And Michael Thomas, quote, retweeted it in all caps, historical. So I actually saw that before, you know, when we were prepping, I saw that on the way over here because that was tweeted this morning. And it's not good in Saints land. Like, as bad as things are with the Cowboys, it's even worse with the Saints, which is weird because the last team that Dennis Allen and the Saints beat, as I saw on my Twitter timeline after he got canned everywhere, was the 44 to whatever drubbing that they had in week 2 against the Cowboys. And then this actually, I didn't plan on playing this, but I saw this as well. This was Alvin Kamara before the firing of Dennis Allen that maybe kind of showed us that the writing was on the wall.
I don't know. I feel like dudes is confident. I mean, it's a lot of guys that played a lot of football in here. Like shit, you just talked about Tyron. I think he's a confident dude. I think Mario, Kim, me, Derek. I think, and then even some of the younger dudes. I think Chris and even Tipton and like we got guys that are confident. Defensive Brazil. We got Grando. We got P. Like Alonso. I can keep going. We got guys. I'm naming guys. You know. I think there's confidence there. But it might not be confidence in something else. So, I don't know.
Oof.
So, he's...
Okay.
The question was... Sorry, I thought the question was in there, but it was basically, asking the confidence of the whole roster, the team, and themselves. And he's basically like, oh, yeah, we're confident in everything,
we got a great roster.
But we're just not confident in, this other thing.
Yeah.
And then there was the viral play where Spencer Rattler, before the first half a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, Dennis Allen called like an inexplicable timeout. Like they were already down big. They weren't in a good field position for anything to happen. And they called a timeout just to knee the ball one more time.
Yeah. That was weird.
And he was like, and you have Spencer Rattler on camera basically mouthing like, what the hell are we doing?
That's never a good sign.
That's the rookie backup quarterback that was filling in for Derek Carr at the time. It's just questioning his own head coach.
Yeah, when you get the WTF visible on national TV, that's not ideal.
Yeah, which, did you see the Dak one?
We effing suck?
Yeah. Oh, man.
We kind of do.
You know what doesn't suck, though?
What?
Was our conversation about food
last
week. And we were talking about Panera and how in St. Louis it's called Breadco, and that's the only place that it's called that. And everywhere else it's known as Panera. I was told, hey, it's called Breadco here. When I went to Mizzou, I was very confused. And now you have done the research and you found the list of some other places that are called different names in different areas.
Yeah, so there's stuff like Best Foods is what it's known as on the West Coast, but most of us probably know it as Hellman's Mayonnaise.
Yeah, Dave Hellman's Mayonnaise.
Right. There's Dryers and Eddie's ice cream.
So, and then that's Dryers on the West Coast and Eddie's or Eddie's on the East Coast.
We have Dryers. Yeah.
So that's what's confusing is like if you're in the middle, how do you just determine who gets which name?
It's a toss-up. Like I know, the next one is the one that I thought of, I think, when we had the discussion last week, Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
And it's funny that when you brought that up last week, I was thinking back at Mizzou, and right by my dorm, I'd never had Carl's Jr. or Hardee's, but there was a Carl's Jr. / Hardee's. Like it was called both right next to my dorm. Because I remember everybody's like, wait, you never had Hardee's?
Huh.
And I was like, no. And they're like, what about Carl's Jr.? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, we're going to go. And I was like, all right. I didn't know we were going to one spot to try both of them, and it was just Carl's Jr. / Hardee's.
Yeah.
And I was like, so which is it? I never knew until now that that's actually the same brand.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing. I think there was some reason, I can't find it anywhere, but yeah, they're the same thing. So maybe your dorm was like right in the middle of Carl's Jr. Hardee's territory.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we don't know.
We'll just call it both.
Yeah.
Who's going to notice?
No one's going to notice. No one's going to care.
I didn't know.
And then the other one is Burger King and Hungry Jack's because Burger King is known literally everywhere in the world except for Australia as Burger King, where they call it Hungry Jack's because I believe there's a restaurant called Burger King that was in Australia before the Burger King we know and mostly love.
Okay. Yeah.
Or really love if they choose to sponsor us.
I mean, the Burger King I have a weird story with Burger King where I was in college and I was going late night for some food and I went to the drive-thru at Burger King and I was about to order and I put my order in and they go, "Sir, we're sorry, we're out of food." I said, "What? You're out of food?" She said, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, that's funny." I was like, "I'll take a Whopper." And she goes, "Sir, no, seriously, we're out of food. Like, if you'd like a drink or a milkshake, we can get you that, but we have no food."
Like they didn't even have pickles?
I was like, I was so frustrated because I was probably at the window for like a good 5 or 10 minutes because I didn't believe them.
Yeah.
I thought they were messing with me.
You probably didn't need to be at that window, to be fair.
No, I probably didn't. No, I did not at all need that. It contributed to my freshman 25 that I put on. But yeah, so I don't think I've been back to Burger King since, unless they'd like to sponsor.
Right. but I do know that they have food, or at least they did the last time I went.
That's good. I'm glad they got food now.
They
That'd
replenished.
be a tough business model.
Yeah, the supplier in the 15 years or so since you were in college,
yes,
have come back and put food in all the Burger Kings.
That's good. I'm glad we got food
It didn't
back.
run out totally.
That's good. That's good news. I like their curly fries, I think. Don't they have good curly fries?
No.
They don't have curly fries?
No.
Oh.
Like, are you thinking of
Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box? Those are
Jack
some
in the
good curly
Box.
fries.
Those are good curly fries.
Which we will gladly talk even more about them if they'll sponsor us.
Yeah. Do we have any more
I don't know.
restaurants?
I think that was the main ones, but it was it's a funny thing. Oh yeah, like Lay's are known in most of the world, the chips as Lay's, but in England they're known as Walkers.
Walkers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Interesting. Well,
so we solved that problem.
I'm glad we got down to the bottom, or got to the bottom of that one.
Yeah, thank you, Panera.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
Burger King.
Breadco and Panera, or whatever you want to be called.
Hungry Jack's. Hungry Jack's is a better name.
I agree. I would go to Hungry Jack's. You didn't have to tell me that it was just Burger King with a different name. I'd be
Right.
like, Hungry Jack's?
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm also in on Smoky Rose.
Yes.
Tell me about, I wasn't able to make the Halloween party because I had Mavericks versus Rockets.
You did.
How was Smoky Rose and everything that went along with it?
Smoky Rose is awesome as usual. Me and Ryan's had our burn-ins meal.
Dude, that sounds so
those burn-ins were so good. But then I had the wings for the first time, and those were incredible.
What?
They're like smoked and then fried, or vice versa. So it must be smoked then fried. And they got like a really good seasoning on them. So good.
Damn.
But yeah, and then the remote, me and Ryan's had Grego and Ziggy on, and just talked about all sorts of stuff. Me and Ryan's were in costume. I brought my dog Ponyo along. We were the Fox and the Hound.
I saw that. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, Ponyo's a Shiba Inu, so she looks kind of like a fox, and so I was wearing a big, heavy dog outfit. Ryan's was the big bad wolf, and Becca and Mickey and Ashley were the three little pigs. Yvonne was Little Red Riding Hood. It was awesome.
Okay, I didn't see that.
I think there are pictures of that.
There's got to be. There's no way that he walked out of that unscathed without photo evidence.
And then Grego was basically dressed as one of the dudes from the Village People.
Okay.
Kind of a biker type look of a certain persuasion.
Okay.
But he pulled it off. He had the handlebar mustache and all that. And then what was Ziggy, like a candy thief?
A candy thief?
Yeah, basically he just wore a Lucha Libre mask and had like a souvenir giveaway mini bat.
Okay.
And said he would use that to beat people over the head with it to get their candy.
Huh.
And we all kind of wound up out of our costumes except for Grego within about 30 minutes of the show.
I was about to say, it's probably pretty hot being a
dog?
Yeah.
So I now understand Ponyo's plight whenever it's warm and she's a double-coated Shiba Inu and all of a sudden starts panning after 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm glad. It sounds like I really wish I could have gone, but obviously had to work.
Yeah.
And
our next Smoky Rose remote, I believe, is December 5th. I believe there will be a bourbon tasting afterwards.
Okay.
So maybe arrange transportation as you see fit.
Yes.
But yeah, so Smoky Rose, we love you.
And if there was a beer tasting there, we could maybe invite my new friend, Strawberry, the pet pig. This is a pig who broke into a garage of her owners and basically found a leftover supply from 4th of July. And Strawberry got hammered.
Oh my God.
Look how many she killed. Like, this is gone, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone.
There's 2 more. There's 3 more back here.
We're about to see Strawberry.
4 girls she killed.
And
Strawberry. What did you do?
She never really lets me come up and pet her, but then she just sat there.
all right, walk straight line, Strawberry. Oh God. Poor Strawberry. He's got the spins probably. Oh, there's a duck.
Oh.
The duck's probably drunk too.
I wonder if the duck got any.
I don't know.
Girl, he's just like the support.
But I respect that Strawberry's first thought is trying to get to bed as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing.
We're not so different.
Yeah.
You know, you get drunk, you're like, all right, it's time for me to lay down.
Yeah, you think you see a duck.
Yeah. Is that duck there?
Is it real? Is it not?
I didn't even know that there was like a black duck.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one before?
I've never thought of it, but I suppose it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen the same kind of ducks. I feel like my whole
the kind
life.
of green and
the kind of green, and then maybe like the white one with the orange beak.
Right.
But when I first saw that, like I was first of all very impressed that Strawberry, which I'm assuming was her first time drinking, was able to walk away.
Yeah.
And honestly, did you see the cans and stuff were crushed?
Oh yeah.
It was like she's Steve.
Crushed him under her
Stone
forehead.
Cold Steve Austin the beers, which would be an incredible video.
I want to see that.
I'm sure AI could probably somehow make that happen for us.
Yeah,
but
the dude from outside the ring tossing the beer up to Strawberry.
Yeah.
And Strawberry chugging.
No, but I just I thought that was incredible that the pig got into an old 4th of July stash of beer, got hammered, and then they walked out and found the carnage of the leftover crushed beers.
And Strawberry didn't tump over or anything, just made its way to bed.
No, made its way to bed, and
yeah, like I was expecting Strawberry to tip over or already be down or something. Instead, stumbled a little bit, but kept their balance.
It was a little dicey there for a second. So good on you, Strawberry. You handled your first time drinking a lot better than most people, including myself.
And myself.
Yeah. So good on you, Strawberry. And good on the Penguin.
Yes.
We got to talk about the Penguin. I'm glad that, we talked about it before the show. I watched episode, I think, was it 9?
The most recent one, I think, is 7.
7.
But either way.
There's, I believe, there's one more episode that'll be the season finale next Sunday. This is one of the best shows I think I've ever watched.
It's great. Like, I like that they are, the way that they're doing it, it feels kind of dark and Sopranos-ish.
Yeah.
And, it feels kind of like that, what do they call it, prestige television from back in the day, where, Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, all the stuff that HBO was pretty much playing, like The Wire, Oz, where it's got a different feel to it, different vibe. I like that each show has, this kind of interesting either backstory that they fill in or whatever, where, like, I hadn't really watched the Batman movie that was a continuation of, the one with Robert Pattinson and all that. Like, I finally did sometime during the middle of my Penguin viewing.
Okay.
But even without that, like, they do a good enough job filling in the backstory and, giving you enough to work on that you stay into it, even if you don't fully know. And it's like, it helps that the Batman and Penguin and all that, like, you kind of know the basics.
Right, yeah. If you've seen any Batman Penguin movie or episode or something, you get the dynamic, you get like who the character is. But like you're saying, the development of the character in this, like I used to think that, the Penguin was kind of a throwaway villain in the whole thing.
Danny DeVito and all that.
Yeah, like it was fine, like, but even when in that movie there was like Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy as well, right? So it wasn't just the Penguin.
Yeah.
And I remember being much more interested in Poison Ivy. I mean, God. Whew, I think she was my first love.
Yeah, was that Uma Thurman, I believe?
Yeah.
Yes.
And wow.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze was good as well. And then the Penguin was just like, he's just the Penguin, kind of waddles around.
Somewhat, not quite comic relief, but
comic relief, and like he kind of shoots with his umbrella or something.
Which is kind of cool.
Which is kind of cool, but it's like watching the Penguin in this, especially this most recent episode, and then just kind of understanding like, is this where like the inspiration for everything came from? I've just been floored with how good it's been. It's well shot. Like all the acting is really, really good. And then the character development, even outside of, Penguin, like the whole thing, I just feel like it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? And the fact that you don't see Batman, you don't see really any of the other main characters, and we're not going to give any plot points away,
Right.
but like they managed to make the Penguin a really interesting, deep, developed character, and then the fact that it's Colin Farrell doing that, like it's insane when you realize that it's him, because he almost kind of looks like a kind of not quite disfigured, but like a rough Robert De Niro, basically.
Yeah.
And the voice, Colin Farrell's Scottish, I believe, or Irish.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got a really pretty thick accent, but, he's got a pretty damn good New York accent that he does. Like, sounds kind of like Tony Soprano.
He's
and-
Irish.
Irish, okay. But, like, the fact that that's him, like, you would have no idea. Like, you can't even tell with the eyes.
So with
know?
with episode 1, like, because when I didn't do a whole lot of research into it, I just know I love Batman. It's my favorite superhero, and so I love all the characters surrounding it as well. So I was in before I even knew what was going on or that it was even any good. And when I first watched the first episode, I was like, "Wait, is Colin Farrell the Penguin?" Like,
Right, like
is
they brought him back for that
him?
because I think we knew that he was, the Penguin in the movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, I don't think it was that big of a part. Now I'm
was
blanking a little bit. It
Me
was,
too.
It's
It's been a
significant
long time
enough.
since I've seen it.
But like the fact that, he came back to do that part, you're kind of not expecting that either.
Yeah.
And then knowing, I think they said it's like a 3-hour makeup session to get, the suit on, to get the, everything, the prosthetics, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's a hell of a commitment, and I think there's going to be a season 2.
There has to be.
Yeah.
With one episode left, like they could obviously. I was thinking about that last night when I was watching this, but with one episode left, it seems like you could tie it all up and not do another season again. But I'm like, dude, it's so good. Like,
Yeah, I think they can. If they were to do one more season at least, that would
Yeah.
be. They could really get even deeper into it, and there's just too much there.
Yeah, and
which I never would have thought.
And it's got me thinking too. It's like, could you do the same thing but with like the Joker? But you can't. Obviously, Heath Ledger's the best Joker of all time. Like, would it be worth doing with Joaquin Phoenix in this same type of? And I don't know if maybe the Joker 2. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have.
What did you think? Did you hate it like everybody else? I haven't seen it.
I don't know that I hated it. It just felt like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Okay.
And like, it's kind of sort of a musical.
That's what I remember seeing a lot, was that it was a musical. And was it, because I've seen the first Joker, and that was one of those, I thought it was going to be funny and like, I don't know, more lighthearted than it was. And I remember halfway through, I was like, damn, this is a really dark movie.
It's pretty dark.
Was Joker 2 pretty dark as well?
It keeps the dark theme, but then it kind of messes with it by all of a sudden breaking into a song.
So that's what I was going to ask, because that's what I was confused, is seeing that it's, hey, it's basically a musical, but then it's like, hey, this is supposed to be a dark character with like a troubled past and all these demons, and then you're just going to start singing?
Yeah, and then there's some weird plot twist kind of at the end, and there's just some different things about where my understanding is that Todd Phillips, the director, pretty much felt like he had wrapped up the story in the first movie, but it was so successful that apparently the studio wanted him to do another one. And so he said, fine, but if I do it, then it's got to be on my terms. You're going to give me this amount of money.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And, no restrictions, whatever. And it's at least one of the things I've read is that it was basically a spite film. Like, it was like, okay, fine. I'm just going to burn a pile of your money just to,
and I saw that
say screw
too.
y'all. And I don't know how true that is.
And then I saw like,
but I watched the movie and I can't totally disagree with the theory.
And so I saw somebody say basically that Todd Phillips was the Joker for the way that he handled the second Joker movie in what you just explained.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if he just felt like, well, I got my FU money. They can't take it back. So I don't know if he's planning on just never directing again. Because I feel like if that's true, he totally burned himself from working with pretty much any major studio that would want him. If it's like, if this is what you get next time you hire him to do a movie.
And then it's like, well, we're definitely not going to force him to do anything he doesn't want to do.
Right.
Because he's going to make a terrible movie and basically make a fool out of all of us.
Yeah. So I'm I don't know. Like, it was not good.
Well, I'm going to make a decision right now that maybe it won't be terrible, but I'm going to try. I think we need to show everybody the insane transformation that Colin Farrell makes for the Penguin, but I don't know if there's going to be an ad first. So,
Want to know things about me? Why don't you send me a little email? I'll write you back real quick. Where do you live?
Colin Farrell makes an insane transformation to play the Penguin, and he's almost unrecognizable when he's in full costume.
I went to go see the Batman, and I loved it, and I thought it was great. And my buddy goes, Colin Farrell was great. I go, huh? Like, Colin Farrell was not in this movie at all. You got me, buddy.
The makeup by Mike Marino was so good that Colin found it really easy to get into character.
Honestly, when I saw Mike Marino's work and what he had created and how the Penguin was going to look facially, I was so blown away. My imagination just kind of kicked up a notch.
But this meant Colin had to spend a lot of time in the makeup chair.
I'm totally buried beneath 4 hours of prosthetic makeup. 4 hours at the start, and then they got it down to 2 hours by the end of the gig. Not that I'm complaining.
Like, that's insane.
So it didn't show like it all, but like just the difference in how he looks, and then the result of the Penguin. I had the same thing where I was in the first episode. I was like, wait, Colin Farrell is the Penguin.
Yeah. And it's like, it's
Insane.
all, prosthetics and all that. It's not, any sort of editing or whatever,
Right.
post-production. It's like, I think that's what really takes it to another level of, like, how the hell is that Colin Farrell? Because he's a pretty good looking dude,
Yeah, and
I'm not afraid to say it.
You shouldn't be.
He might be better looking than me.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
He's not.
All right. Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm at least better looking than the Penguin. I know
That
for
was-
sure.
That was too far. That was
Yeah.
way too far. Yeah.
So go watch it.
Go watch The Penguin if you haven't already. I guarantee you, if you start it today, whenever you're listening to this, I would be shocked if you weren't caught up by tomorrow or 2 days from now at the latest.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of the people that can watch multiple episodes in a row now.
See, I was kind of happy. Like Breaking Bad, I got in like late, like season 3. I think is
Same
when I
here.
started watching that. Game of Thrones, I think it was about the same, like season 3 when I started season 1. I'm like happy that I finally started a show from the beginning, and I'm like, okay, hell yeah! Like I can tell other people, like, hey, you're safe to watch this.
Yeah, and you feel like you're part of something cool, you
Right,
know?
yeah.
Like, I was in the cool club before everybody else.
Yeah.
But
I'm a hipster.
I do like being able to binge watch stuff, so it does make me a little sad not being able to watch all of them in a row, because I'm positive I would if that was the option.
And I feel like my memory of everything that happened would be so much better because I watched it in one continuous watch instead of like
having a week in between.
Or like between season 1 and season 2 where you watch season 2 and you're like, damn, like what even happened? And even with like Dune, I watched Dune 1 like way after everybody else, but it was still too early for me before Dune 2 came out where I watched Dune 2 and then I was like, damn it, who are all these people again? Like, what did you do that made him mad? And why is who are all these people?
Yeah.
So, and Dune actually has a series coming out on HBO. I don't know if it's out yet, but I'm planning on watching that too because I feel like I really enjoyed Dune 1 and Dune 2. And hopefully it'll be the same here with Penguin where the Dune TV show will, be a really good extension of all that.
Nice. I need to get into Dune. I haven't watched it.
You should. It's really good. I think both of them are on HBO right now. I think.
Live HBO.
Don't quote me on that, but let me know if I was right or wrong.
Please quote him on that.
Please quote
Make
me
a
on
little
that.
graphic.
And please keep supporting us here on Shippy and Grubes and the Sunset Lounge and Stolen Water Media. Appreciate you guys tuning in, subscribing. It really means a lot to us. And thanks for joining us for another episode. We did it. We
Yay.
made it through another one mostly unscathed. And so for me, Shippy,
I'm Grubes.
We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys next week for episode number 14. And good luck out there to everyone.
Jamie Benn episode coming up next.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, Captain, my captain.
My captain, too.
My captain.
He was your captain first.
He was. Don't you ever forget it.
I won't.
Without me, there is no you.
This is a Stolen Water Media production.